Now, from what we were talking about during our little breaky break, Ready Player One is a novel which was turned into an audiobook done by Will Wheaton, and now it's becoming a movie.
Yeah, well, to all the old timers out there, you can still read the book in its pure form, but that's how I came across it, through just downloading an audiobook, because the drives to work can quite become a very quiet and lonely experience. So I thought maybe to at least put some noise in the car, listen to the audio novel, and it was quite a good audio novel, a good rendition by Will Wheaton. Now, the actual book, Ready Player One, it's about to become, well, there's been an agreement to actually make a movie based on it, and the actual novel's a few years old, so there's still a newness about it. But just for the uninitiated, in order for, I feel, there to be a good screenplay adaptation of the book, there's going to be a lot of legality to get through. Because if anyone who's actually read the book or listened to the audiobook might know, there's a lot of pop culture references. 80s, 90s, turn of the millennium. They're everywhere. So when that happens, if you're going to put that into film, you tend to need to get a lot of permission from people. Because the way that the book goes is that it's based in a world where what is it, that place called Second World, a place online where you pretty much build a business, or you can create a community or an online community or do some shit. Yeah, it's basically that writ large through something called the Oasis, which could be a variant on the Matrix, but there's still that virtual reality aspect, and it's also in the real world. It's basically dystopia, where people think it's an unsustainable situation. The world is heading to an end. People look for escape and look for something a bit more substantial in life by going to the Oasis. It's very much an oasis. But the way that you interact in the Oasis is pretty much like being a net geek. So you have all these people that have created avatars where there are these pop culture references, people looking like Dragon Ball Z characters, or a band member from Flock of Seagulls. They go walking around looking like a transformer. You know, I mean, the opportunities are endless. But the problem is, if you're going to express that in film, you've got to get permissions.
But you mean they actually look like Goku or like Optimus Prime in the book?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Well, that's big.
Well, the way the book flows, there is just so many riffs, so many tropes. That's where the joy is, because the way it's just basically a geek porn to me.
Makes you wonder though, what does this licensing look like for books then? Like, are you allowed to just write about? I mean, this is now an issue because it's gonna be in a film and you see it and you got a license. But how does this work when you write a book? Like, how did that play out when the guy wrote the book?
Well, I think. It's a guy. A guy that originally probably had a lot of free time on his hands because he definitely does exhibit a very huge pop culture general knowledge. Yeah. But when you look at the idea of copyright in a book, I don't think there's so much an issue there because it's about likeness. That's my understanding of it anyway. So if it's textual, it's not necessarily doesn't necessarily matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on those grounds, development of the movie may be stalled, but there's a little glimmer of hope. Tiny little glimmer. And that glimmer's name is Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, yeah.
They had Sonic, they had fucking Zangief, they had Donkey Kong and all this other stuff. They had to license a whole lot of crap from a whole lot of different companies. So I reckon if they can pull it off, then so can Ready Player One.
Mind you though, that was Disney, and Disney is just
Disney has a shitload of money.
Yeah.
But then this has been snapped up by Warner Brothers, I believe. That's what the article says. Where is it?
Yeah.
It's been 4 whole years since Warner Brothers scooped up the rights to Ernie Klein's Matrix. So it's not like Warner Brothers is, a startup company. they have millions and millions and millions of dollars tucked away from, say,
billions, yeah.
Warner Brothers Music, the movie studio, movie world probably.
Well, they make X-Men. Yeah, there's actually X-Men screenwriter. Interesting.
I don't know. I think getting all the licenses to begin with will be the major hurdle, but I don't see why that would be a huge issue in terms of.
It all depends on how the license holders.
Yeah, and to me it's a mixture as well, because when you look at Wreck-It Ralph, it was all about video game licenses or video game copyright.
Yeah.
In Ready Player One, it extends beyond that. So you're looking at not just video games, you're looking at music, TV, just basically the whole gamut.
So hang on. So in that Oasis world, so like when you say you use I don't know, like you put someone from a band or whatever, you put on I don't know, you put on someone like as your profile picture. In that Oasis, you would literally look like that.
Okay, like, well, for example, like a day in the life of Oasis, like you get out of bed in the real world, you may or may not have a shower, you put on the virtual reality gear, and you go to school. So you have a day at school, and then you finish off, and then after that, you might skip out and then visit someone in a private chat room. And in this chat room, it's actually being in a literal room. So because of that, you might see things like old Atari 2600 cartridges, you know, like you might have a real nostalgia buff there. You might even have the pictures of Sailor Moon, which I can notice over there, which aren't necessarily shot, but that's where I'm coming from. It's just all those different real world pop cultural references that will be spliced throughout the whole scenes, but never mind the product placements, which will be no doubt part of it as well. But you're also in chat rooms, and then after that you're going to go off the way the Oasis is also attached is like it's a universe, so there's different worlds. So once you finish having a chat with someone in a chat room, then you might go visit another planet, a whole planet that's dedicated to cyberpunk, for example.
Cool.
So you'll go there, and then you might find a place that's just totally been recreated to look like the noodle shop at in Blade Runner. Yeah. So it's Los Angeles.
Right.
So it's stuff like that. So then you'd have to get permission through whoever made Blade Runner to make that happen, and you know all the ads you know how they had the huge airship with the stuff like that. You know. Whether that's even you need to get permission to do that or not.
You could do say if we use the thing from Blade Runner, like you could do a lookalike easily. Yeah. Without it necessarily encroaching on their territory. Like it would look Blade Runner-ish.
I know, but I suppose that's where my concern comes from. Like, I mean, you can make an adaptation, but it has to be good. In order for it to be good, I think it has to have those authentic references, because I reckon this could go real pear-shaped if it's going to look like
if
like cheap knockoffy.
From the sounds of I haven't read the book or anything. I feel like I probably should because it sounds awesome. Right. But you know, if you are going to make an adaptation of Ready Player One, you are going to have those. You will need to have those references.
Yeah. It grounds it. So much.
Otherwise, it may as well be some other movie. It may as well not be an adaptation.
Yeah.
Because you kind of saw it in The Matrix, where there wasn't necessarily the need to reference anything that was real. Just this old alternative world. But in Ready Player One, I think it builds upon that Matrix concept. So I don't think you can kind of do a rehash of that idea. It does have to take it one step further, and I think you can do that by basically splicing geek culture, you know. I think that would make for a good film adaptation.
Yeah, would be.
Yeah. So apparently this film, does it mention when it's going to come out? I think it was a couple of years.
Ready Player One is currently without a release date and looks though the project has some hurdles to jump on as part of the silver screen.
Yeah.
I thought it was coming out 2016 or 17.
Yeah.
I think that was the intention.
It's been in development for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's when the book came out. So I think once the book came out, it became a bestseller, and then all of a sudden Hollywood's just gone, ooh,
Well, lucky.
make a book deal, make a movie deal, make a movie deal. So, but yeah, they mention hurdles, and I think we just kind of discussed what those hurdles are going to mainly involve.
Good luck to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
But, you know, I kind of make a big deal out of it because, yeah, if they kind of did it right.
And
I mean, look at the Deadpool movie that came out.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't really, with something like that, you can't really just center it around one certain area from the sounds of things.
Yeah.
You can't just do the, set up at, say, the school and then a chat room and then whatever. You have to do, like, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
So you can't really just go, oh yeah, we'll just get all rights to Optimus Prime and Donkey Kong.
Yep.
And away we go. They go on wacky adventures. Holy shit, I would watch the crap out of that, just by the way.
But yeah, it would make it too attached, to this one IP where you think like...
Yeah, exactly. Whereas Ready Player One, from the sounds of things, is just, as you said, it's just pretty much everything. So...
This is why we can't have nice things. This is why internet and social media is so awesome and traditional media is so restrained.
Well, that's what you could do with your nanotech, isn't it, Dan? Can you make us a virtual reality with your nanotech?
Well, people are already working on that, actually. I mean, not with the nanotech, but virtual reality is a big thing right now. And I just saw this company called Magic Leap is now working on light field tech, which is it comes off very natural, and people are thinking of putting that into like a contact lens. Or
is that like Google
that.
Glass?
Yeah, yes, it is, but it looks very real. It's very, you can focus on things and stuff. It's not like you forcibly looking at a screen, but the screen has different depth of focus, so you can focus into the screen. I haven't actually seen it myself, but I've seen how it works.
I suppose where the science fiction comes across in this novel is the way the OSS works is that the image is actually reflected straight into your retina.
Yeah, that's something else. That's, I guess, retinal imaging. That's also being looked at now. The problem with that is I don't think I've seen full color achieved with that. Like you can, I think there are functional prototypes of that where it can give you like a HUD overlay, but not fully taking over vision.
Well, I'm happy to settle with virtual reality, but you're a dog. That'd be good.
Well, yeah. I guess.
You've been playing Fallout 3 again, haven't you?
I mean, it's nice. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what's in the in Reddit. I mean, this is science fiction, so everything is awesome. But like, right now, virtual reality is still pretty clunky. You have this big fat thing on your head. It would be great if it can be, say, a contact lens, or even just this thing that beams it straight in the eyes.
Well, you remember what happened in the mid-90s when it just became a concept and you have all these big big gear that people are carrying around and then you're shooting pterodactyls, the like pixelated things.
Yeah, it looked crap, but now the graphics cards and PCs are orders of magnitude better, so it does actually look
That said, I still think it's got a little ways to go.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's only just coming out now.